He repeated the movement and realized every time he go through the motions, he can feel the power surging through him, and he not just using the body training technique, there is a breathing technique as well. As he manifests an electric ball, his stomach rumble, and he's so hungry that his face became zombie-like. Turn out that he forced his body to grow, and the energy consumption can't keep up. Regular food isn't enough to provide him with the nutrients he need anymore, so the option is left is strengthen pills. But with his family financial, he can't afford it, and if things continue like this, his growth rate will slow down, so he better start earning in his school. There is an award for student performance, and he planned to get his hand on it. He needs to show his talents and abilities. At the sports gym locker room, Lim Chiu-ming told him that it's been a long time since they've had a practical combat lesson. Lim Chiu-ming noticed Lu Sheng's body and asked him, when did he get those muscles? Lu Sheng replied that he has been working out and his hair has grown longer. It's time to take a haircut. Lim Chiu-ming smuggled said that Lu Sheng was trying to get girls' attention, but Lu Sheng replied he isn't the same Lim Chiu-ming, and the exam are coming, suggest him to get ready, and they both go to gym. At the gym, practical combat instructor Zhong Zhenghua said today they will be reviewing the basics of combat techniques that they have talked about in the class. Lim Chiu told Lu Sheng that Mr. Zhong is a rank 2 martial artist, and his scars from the actual battle with beasts, judging by those scars on his right arm. While Mr. Zhong shows his techniques, Lu Sheng notices that his techniques are too simple and unrefined, and the things he absorbed from his dreams are much better. After showing basic combat, Mr. Zhong called one of the students named Yang Yifei to prove to the class. As he walked to perform, the girls in the class were astonished by his showing off, and they praised him for being the strongest in the class. Lim Chiu-ming was disappointed and said, that guy again. He's the one hogging the spotlight every time cause he handsome, rich, and he got himself the best pills. His vitality is getting close to 1.2 as well. Lim Chiu-ming assumed that the instructors always play favorite, and people like him are useless folks. In Lu Sheng's mind, he'd agreed with his buddy, but now that he knows he gets stronger, he'll grab them all with his own hands. After proving, Mr. Zhong told Yang Yifei that he had a few issues with his balance, and he will correct his movement next time. Next, he will have other students to practice with him. Yang Yifei thanks him, but in his mind, he isn't accepting Mr. Zhong's advice and belittle Mr. Zhong for having a lower rank martial art compared to his family. Mr. Zhong asked if there is anyone wanted to spar with Yang Yifei. The students keep silence and no one's bothered to spar with him. Mr. Zhong realizes every time this happens, the students start shriveling away. The school only teaching them the basics, but once they join the military, only a handful of them will be walking the path. He knew that the students said he play favorite while thinking he noticed the stare of Lu Sheng. Those staring eyes belong to some who has undergone truly arduous training. He pointed in Lu Sheng and ordered him to spar with Yang Yifei. Lim Chiu-ming warned Lu Sheng not take it and reminds him that they will have an exam soon. But Lu Sheng said don't worry, he has been training. Mr. Zhong told them that have 10 minutes for this sparring match. Remember the lesson and safety first. As they're facing each other, the instructor gave the signal to start. Mr. Zhong noticed that Lu Sheng showed no sign of fear and kept his cool. He asked what Lu Sheng's vitality is from the last test. Lu Sheng replied shortly 0.802. He thought that Lu Sheng's vitality was too low, and he reminded Lu Sheng to pay attention to his strength. Then he was ready to fight. Before the fight, Yang Yifei asked Lu Sheng to get ready and mocked him when the fall. Don't try to use his hands to stop the fall. It might put pressure on his bones. Instead, he should protect his vital, especially the head. Lu Sheng thanks Yang Yifei for reminding him and told Yang Yifei he can come at him anytime now. Yang Yifei at once flashing his fist in front of Lu Sheng's face. The students were stunned seeing what they saw. Yang Yifei getting cocky cause he thought a pushovers like Lu Sheng deserve an embarrassing. But he was surprised that his hand hitting nothing. Lu Sheng turn. He's charging himself with the blue aura like a Super Saiyan Blue and prepare to unleash Goku's Dragon Fist. He punches Yang Yifei's arrogant face, cause him to bound with Super Saiyan Blue energy. Everyone was shocked and Yang Yifei's face is still smoking from the impact. Mr. Zhong quick went to check if Yang Yifei is okay. Everyone's looking at Lu Sheng. They all can't believe that he took only one punch to send Yang Yifei away. Even Lu Sheng himself was surprised at his own combat ability. As the instructor is holding Yang Yifei, everyone cannot seem to believe their eyes that Lu Sheng defeated Yang Yifei with a single punch. Mr. Zhong told them to stop spacing out and go to call a teacher from the infirmary's office. After the nurses put Yang Yifei on a stretcher, Lu Sheng went to sorry Mr. Zhong that he did not mean to do that due to the lack of his strength control. Mr. Zhong looks at him in the eyes and told him not to worry about it. Beside young Yifei's injuries aren't that severe, then Mr. Zhong asked him to come to his office because he has something to discuss with Lu Shang. Then Lu Shang told Lim Qiuming to inform the homeroom teacher that need to go to Mr. Zhong's office. Lim Qiuming is still frozen from shock of unbelievable that Yang Yifei with vitality 1.22 is defeated by Lu Shang with a single blow. He didn't recognize is that the Lu Shang he has known for long time. At Mr. Zhong's office, they enter the room. Lu Shang noticed the bonsai and said that he never knew Mr. Zhong has such hobby. Mr. Zhong laughed and said everyone has secrets of their own. Wouldn't he agree? With just vitality only 0.8 and yet defeat another student with 1.22. Lu Shang replied that the result was from last assessment. Mr. Zhong suspected that Lu Shang might use the prohibited drug to increase his vitality, which was harmful to the body, but Lu Shang rejected and swore that he has never used any illegal drugs. Mr. Zhong said fine and asked to assess his vitality and combat power again, so that Mr. Zhong can confirm it for sure. Lu Shang placed his hand on the glowing ball, the blue aura appeared, and the window status showed up. His vitality is 1.532, and he's officially a martial artist rank 1. Mr. Zhong was freezing that an official martial artist at the age of 18. There's no genius like him in the whole school, even in the whole White Lake City. Lu Shang prepares to assess his combat power. With one little punch, the assessment dummy head flew away, destroyed the bonsai in an instant. Awkward, Lu Shang kept saying sorry to Mr. Zhong that he didn't do it on purpose, and Mr. Zhong couldn't hold his tears for the loss of his bonsai. While crying, Mr. Zhong thought even the assessment model is modified for students, but it should withstand the attack of an official martial artist. He realized that Lu Shang's strength had surpassed a rank 1 martial artist. Mr. Zhong asked Lu Shang when the last time was. He assessed his vitality and combat power. Lu Shang told him that was half a month ago. Mr. Zhong couldn't believe it and thought that Lu Shang might be an heir to some noble clan, or perhaps he was receiving the tutelage of some grandmaster. But Lu Shang told him that he's from an ordinary family and he's not disciple of any grandmaster either. As for the reason behind his improvement, he likes to keep it a secret. Mr. Zhong contemplated that Lu Shang's improvement almost reached double in just 1 month, and in his school day, his results were an average. He became a rank 2 martial artist and entered the military after working so hard for many years. He understood the truth after stepping in the real battlefield, and that is impossible for humankind to defeat monsters. And only humans who have those monster strengths can defeat the monsters. Mr. Zhong sighed in relaxation and told Lu Shang with his current result. He's more than qualified to be in higher standard school, and he will contact the dean's office about this. Lu Shang thanked Mr. Zhong for his consideration, but he prefers his current class because he can advance much faster in his dream than in the class. Mr. Zhong told him the school will do its best to support him. If Lu Shang has any difficulties about cultivation or requires the help of the school, feel free to tell him. Lu Shang won't hold back that he has 2 requests. He wants to apply for a martial artist scholarship, and at the same time he hopes that the school will allow him to have a more flexible timetable. Mr. Zhong understood what Lu Shang lacks financial aid and free time, or so he will request a scholarship that will give Lu Shang a grant of $30,000 and discuss his timetable with the dean's office. The processing might take a couple of days. Mr. Zhong gave his black card to Lu Shang with more than 100,000 in it and told Lu Shang that he can pay him back when he has the money to prevent Lu Shang wasting time. Lu Shang appreciated Mr. Zhong, and Mr. Zhong told him to go back to his class and keep doing his best. As soon as the door is shut, Mr. Zhong can't hold his excitement about Lu Shang's extraordinary. He plans to keep it secret from other school because Lu Shang is the school trump card. He couldn't wait to tell the school higher up about it. Lu Shang. After so many years, they finally have someone not just for the unified examination, but also can go to this strange place. The scene changed to shop where a nourishing tonic called Orchid Heart was recommended by a staff to a mother and daughter. The staff explained that the tonic is effective when used to stabilize vitality after it reaches 0.8, and it was also specially designed for female martial artists. Currently on promotional with just $30,000, they bought it immediately as they left the shop. Lu Shang heard the mother told her daughter to train harder. He understood a poor family like his only able to buy the cheap one, and strong martial artist can earn more to boost their vitality with those expensive nourishing. The same goes for his sister. As for him, he blamed himself for didn't put enough effort to change his destiny and wasted his time aimlessly. As he saw a fellow duo student talking about playing a game that reminded him, He was once like them before when at time he felt like a fish trapped in the tank of the bottomless sea. However, all of this has changed now that he broke through the surface of the water and discovered the real world beyond. Once again, he had a chance to change his destiny and vowed to never make a wrong decision this time. Lu Sheng was surprised that at this moment, the multitude of battle memories he had absorbed during this brief period had all been integrated into just one moment. He decided to advance yet another step on this path for his family and what he wants. He will keep becoming stronger to fight. Later in his dream, he's fighting with another zombie with combat ability. After exchange some blows, he defeat the zombie, and the zombie turn out to be a former martial artist when it was alive. It can still use combat techniques even after became a zombie. Lu Sheng traveled to the base 1359. According to the zombie's memory, the base should be shrouded in a black mist and swarmed of an almost endless tide of monsters, though strangely he didn't even encounter a single monster but zombies. After decapitated 2 zombies in one blow, he finally reached the base, and it's looked like a wall-fortified town from Attack on Titan. He went there to get a closer look. He amazed to see such magnificent wall, but there is a breach in the wall which reminded him of the colossal Titan from AOT. Then he climbs up the wall through the breach. He realized that the wall is at least 20 meters thick, yet it is really hard to imagine what kind of battle happened to take down a base of such scale. He noticed both the martial arts and the development of civilization of this world is far superior. If such a powerful civilization had fallen to the monsters, what will become for his future world? When he reached the edge of the wall, he saw a structure different from the others and concluded that should be the military base or command center. There is a humanoid figure. It looks like zombies sitting on the top floor of the building. The zombie looks at Lu Sheng. An imminent force caught Lu Sheng by surprise, knock him back on the floor. Lu Shin said, "Was that some kind of psychic power?" It was a terrifyingly intimidating force. He knew with his current abilities this isn't a place for him to go right now, so he decided to survey his surrounding areas because the zombies there seem pretty weak. He jumps on one of the zombies' face as a platform like a Super Mario game and passed through the other side. He reached a place that seemed like a normal apartment and looks like people must have been eating when the apocalypse dawned upon them. Strangely, there are no signs of damage to the door or windows either. His theory is ordinary people couldn't even have the right to be turned into zombies by that black mist. He saw a strange object, and when he touched it, there was light revealed in the place. It's a hologram of a pretty girl in strange, exciting clothes. "Oh boys." The girl said, "Welcome, user of Tianheng technology." At that moment, Lu Sheng realized that she spoke the same language as him. He knew the fact that this isn't a high-tech auto-translator. Then the hologram girl introduced herself as a product of Tianheng Technologies. She's the built-in auxiliary artificial intelligence of the 16th generation optical mind, aka Ellie, and she responsible for controlling the network server management of the base 1359. Lu Sheng asked her for the latest news. She replied, "Sure." She's happy to be of service. The status shown connecting to Skynet, which has failed because of John Connor destroyed the Skynet. Oop, sorry, that was a different story. Then Ellie pulls out a lot of info windows from the base 1359 civilian archives. The news showed year in 11,024 MC, June 21st. Main base number 2 has successful launched the 58th spacecraft in search of intelligent life form. Target destination is the Lyra Galaxy. In 11,024 MC, July 24th, base 105 has fallen. In 11,024 MC, September 24th, Lieutenant General Sun Changhe has successfully become a rank 10 Star Realm martial artist, becoming the 472nd rank 10 Star Realm powerhouse in the history of the World Martial Alliance. Currently, there are 23 ranked 10 Star Realm martial artists in the Alliance. In the year 11,024 MC, September 30th, bases 114, 838, and 1022 have fallen in succession. The 8th Division has been activated to search for survivors. In the year 11,024 MC, November 19th, the World Martial Alliance will be holding the 24th Grandmaster Conference at Main Base Number 1. They will be discussing the recent strategic policies that have been rolled out. Lu Sheng came to know that the Dream World has a rank system the same as his world, and he can't even begin to imagine the heights of the Dream World's martial arts have reached. Another window has appeared showing the video of monsters coming through the crack in the sky. Terrified by what he saw of this dream world with both martial arts and technology reach unimaginable levels, and yet they weren't able to protect anything. In fact, they even decided to abandon their home planet and search for another suitable planet to call home. However, till the day human civilization fell, there wasn't any good news has been reported. Liu Shang was sure enough that his world too wouldn't be able to escape the inevitable destruction. Liu Shang showed sympathy for such a glorious civilization. It's such a shame. Then he asks Ellie to show him the history of this dream world. Ellie's doing her job and show him the world's history. Liu Shang's hoping to learn something from this dream world history event despite its destruction. He read the world history events and found out that the dream world is exactly his world, but it is the future of his world in 10,000 years later. And hopefully that both worlds are not the same one, or maybe a parallel universe. Then he asks Ellie to search for information specifically about himself. After the search is completed, he found his own information, which is shown that he only lived until 28 years old. On top of that, he's just an ordinary civilian. Then again, he asks Ellie to make another query with specific year 299, March, and a person named Liu Shengsu. Ellie replied access denied and asked him to provide a genetic blood sample to be registered as a user. He wonders how he does that. Then Ellie leans toward him, bites his finger and sucks his blood. Although Ellie is an AI, but Liu Shang's blushing awkwardly. After releasing his finger, Ellie lets him know that blood sample has been collected and start analysis. Liu Shang is still awkwardly thought. So that how they do in the future, huh? Oh boys. Ellie started to glitching. Liu Shang asked what's wrong with her. Suddenly fire appeared on her head, and she announced that project, Fireseed, initiated. Connection successfully and permission granted. You know, the regular sci-fi stuff that we usually see in the movie. Okay, back to our story. Liu Shang wonders, is the Fireseed project somehow related to the plan of abandoning the Earth in search of a new home planet? Another version of his information has shown up. His profile pictures look a bit older, and wonder if the future has changed? He checked the details. It's different from the one earlier. He's the best grade in school, graduated from Baiha High School, and placed 23rd in the whole of Baiha City, then enrolled in Baiha Martial Art University, joined the military 3 years later. He served in the Tiannan Military Division and died in the Southern War Zone at the age of 37 unmarried. He had the rank of lieutenant with no outstanding contributions. After reading the information, he's guessing maybe that after he became stronger, the future changed too. The trajectory of his life before 19 is the same. There's even a record of his sudden surge in strength before the college entrance exam too. And yet he is dissatisfied with these little achievements, but on the other hand, he thought in the vast human database over 10,000 years, there must have been way too many geniuses even to count. He can't even be considered a genius. However, his data here is not perfect. The records state that his vitality during the college entrance exam was 2.012, with combat power of 257, disregarding the dream world, at his current rate just by practicing refinement technique and breathing technique. Getting those results in 200 days later can be expected. However, if he takes the cultivation and gain he has made in the dream world into account, he will surpass those results for sure. His ego bursts that he should be in the national ranking, not just 23rd place in the city. His name becoming one that everyone knows, his future will surely be more than that if he can change the future by growing stronger. Then, the fate of humanity's impending destruction will be averted by him. He will turn things around and save everyone. He will be the spark that lights up a blaze through humanity. The scene was so intense that the flame lit up surrounded him. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.